pledge, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Mosier.
Yes, sir. How about that?
Or you're just Jonesy.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So, the authority had presented a balanced budget to the clerk's office last month. This new fiscal year 26 budget plan does not suggest a rate increase for water or sewer, so that's the good news.
Very good. Thank you.
Yep. We came close, but things look good. We've had a couple good years where we put a little bit back more into the reserves than we anticipated on spending, so that's good. We had the mercury minimization plan submitted to New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. The attachment is number 4, if you guys are interested in reviewing that. It's an annual report. We have to do work every year. We had no violations the month of February. The ops report and discharge monitoring report are included in attachment number 1 for your review. We had acquired a new sludge hauler beginning June this year, so Bilco came within penny fractions of the next closest bidder, so we're going to award the bid to Bilco. So they used to haul sludge for us years previous. There was 2 out of the 3 vendors that had actually submitted a quote. It was fractions of a penny difference, so a little bit of savings there, but exactly what we had anticipated on spending when I submitted this budget, so that worked out. As far as repairs go, we did have a malfunction at the LS1A pump station located near Cedar Point. We lost communications with that pump station and some of the other westernmost pump stations in the village. We had to make an emergency call to our Aqualogics technician in Syracuse, who had run up that night and replaced the bad module they had found to be blown. So that was something we needed to take care of on the spot. I believe they just submitted a bill for that. $1,300. So we also had to rebuild one of the check valves on South Shore pump number 2 after noticing prolonged run times on pump number 1. And again, the same thing at the effluent lift station at the wastewater treatment plant. So boys had to jump down in some meter pits and dissect some check valves. And we did find a lot of mop heads and debris. Over time, these things accumulate and just prevent that flapper from slamming shut. And it kind of short circuits the water around the plant, and the pumps continuously run. So it's good that we monitor these things on SCADA, the trends every week are reviewed. We look back to see if there's any prolonged pump times at any of our 14 pump stations. Send a guy out as needed. We also submitted samples for our disinfection byproducts last month. The results were submitted to New York State Department of Health. The village maintained safe levels for this quarter as well as the past 3 quarters. This summary is provided in attachment number 5. And as far as news unfolding, this week we're to meet with the New York State DEC engineers to discuss permit modifications. Now every year they give us a permit renewal. This year he had hinted on some permit modifications, so myself, I asked the mayor to sit on that call as well. So I'll relay those changes at board meeting. We also have the asset management plan with our engineering department right now under review, and we also have the annual water quality report currently in the director's office under review right now. So these are 2 major annual documents we present to the village board every year. If there's any questions regarding the status report submitted to you guys on Thursday, I'd be happy to field those. Otherwise, I've got nothing new to add.
I have a question, and this is just for my information. It's on the attachment 2. The graph that you're showing, average gallons per day, water and wastewater. I was wondering if you could give me a quick explanation. And I guess I'm looking at why water usage for that 1 month is way lower than the wastewater. Is that from leakage? I guess that's what I'm looking at. What is that additional?
You're saying the water that we pulled for the water treatment plant is different from the water we treated at the wastewater plant?
Well, I guess you should just explain to me what the graph is showing, and then
Sure.
I have a question.
Yeah, so the graph represents our annual pull from the river. So there's an effluent flow meter at the wastewater plant where that is recorded, and we also record the water going through the water treatment plant. We have 3 meters over there. There's one on the front door, there's one on the back door, and there's one in the middle. So those numbers from the wastewater plant will never align with the water from the water treatment plant. As you know, we have quite a bit of storm water that's infiltrating the system. There's a lot of collection from people's basements that ends up in the system.
But that's what I'm looking at, though, right?
Correct.
Okay. That's what my question was.
Any other questions from the board? My water's coming out nicely and it's nice and clean.
Fantastic.
Thank you very
Good
much.
to hear. No complaints. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right. Have a good evening.
You as well. Terry Jones.
Good evening, everybody. You all have a copy of the DPW activity report. I just wanted to add on the water on my report. The leak at 318 Webb Street has been repaired fully. We've got copper on our side of that curb stop, and the homeowner today was able to get a hold of Bach and Company, and they replaced that section. So everything's new for that resident. That's got to be one of the last pieces of galvanized in this village, because I was really surprised to see that it was galvanized on our side. I thought I'd seen them all, but that galvanized line had to be 60 years old, I would assume, guessing, and you couldn't even see through it. Their water pressure had to be minimal. We got him water for the weekend through a hose, and he noticed a complete difference in water pressure just from that hose. I got him through the weekend, and so they were very cooperative with us, and it went well. It took us a couple of days. It was a slop hole. It was a mess, but the guys did a good job. The new guys learning did a fantastic job in the ditch. You all should be commended for getting that job done. One of them has been waiting for one, and then I told him then, be careful what you wish for, and then now he sees what I meant. So best thing was it wasn't 20 below zero. It was a above freezing day, so it went rather well, all in all. So that's all done. And also on the agenda, the spring pickup, I just wanted to announce that that's going to be Monday, May 5th. We go around one time. The town of Clayton does the household goods stuff, and the village of Clayton, our guys go around and pick up the brush and debris, that lawn debris and that kind of stuff. I see there's some brush out now. We'll make periodic stops throughout the early spring just to try to stay on top of it so that it's not so cumbersome when we get ready to do it. And that's pretty much everything that I have on my report. Does anyone have anything for me?
I just wanted you to explain the Mary Street issue. Was that a village issue?
That Mary Street issue is not necessarily a village issue. It's a dead-end line that was probably added after the fact, and they put a T in. So what we're gonna do, there's a clean out there, but we can't access it. We're unable to find it at the time because the ground was frozen. Now that it's thawed out, we were gonna attack it the end of last week, but we had the water issue, so we haven't gotten to it. So to answer your question, it's not really a village issue. There's there's a T there instead of a Y. So when their waste is coming in, it's hitting a deadhead, and then whatever they flush down the toilet can get caught there. So it's a catch-22, so to speak. It's worked fine. We've never had any issues at that residence, so like the last 6 months or so. But we're looking into it. If we have to excavate and just change that Y in that fitting, we will.
Or T to Y?
Change the T to a Y, yes.
Okay.
And I think maybe the homeowner years ago did that there. It's right in the right of way. It's on the cusp of the right of way, so at this point, I don't see any reason why we can't make it right. Right now, things are working good down there.
Any other questions? I would like to say that your new bandstand that you did is lovely. Lots of great comments about it.
Thank you.
From everyone that saw it at the Irish Festival. The village, DPW did an excellent job cleaning up the village for the Irish Festival. That also was noted numerous times about how nice we looked so early in the season.
Yeah, Mother Nature cooperated.
Yeah, she
We were
sure
able to
did.
get the sweeper out.
Yes, yes.
Clean up along the fence lines.
And as
and
everyone
right
knows,
away.
it was a beautiful day that day, and then we have today. So I thank you for that. They're be done with the diver's dock this week or the middle of next week.
Yeah, yep.
And that's completed, and that will be installed probably in May.
Yeah, probably.
In May-ish.
When we get ready to put the other docks in,
Yes,
we'll
yes.
do
And
that.
so
We gotta move
that's
swings.
working out very well. All of that, so they're doing a great job. Thank
Thanks
you.
for all that you do.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Have a
We're
good
gonna
night.
miss those lights on Wooden Park though, Terry.
What's that?
We're gonna miss those lights out on Wooden Park.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, the tree
Yes,
lights.
tree lights.
Oh, yeah. Oh, give Bobby something to mow around next year.
Thank you. Mr. Wilder, zoning extraordinaire.
All right, good evening, everybody. Sorry I didn't get the report out earlier on Friday. I actually was a lot busier than I thought I was. Thought I could just bang it out and it'd be done, and there was a lot of moving parts this last month, so everybody should have gotten it today. As far as permits, we had a whole series, it looks like about 6 or so. Nothing too outstanding on a fence. We do have a new construction of a 30 by 50 house at 625 Alexandria. It's on one of the small lots, but they do meet the code, barely. A whole series of sign permits hit. I think we had 4. The Grill Diner, which is back where the old barbecue pit was on State. Riverside with Olive and Hope. The spa. Got 2 that came in from the town of Clayton for digital signs at the rec park and a digital sign at the Opera House. Those were automatically denied. We don't allow digital signs. I'll touch back to that. Did get another sign permit request for the Bodega 524 that is going in at the old Coyote Moon location. They're looking to be open in the next couple weeks. Nice lady running it, so hopefully they do well. So that kind of rolls into our variances, site plan reviews, special use permits. We do have an open one, a carryover from last month with Megan Caddick. That got pushed to this month's planning board or zoning board review. That was an error on my part getting things organized, and I have spoken to her, so she understands. New variances, again, for the 2 digital signs at the park and at the Opera House. Site plan reviews that we have that are open. Pending is the Lion Fields Field House demolition, removal, and rebuild. Okay, that's going to go to planning board on the 3rd of next month. I got the notices mailed, I got the publication to the paper, I got the sign posted. Other site plan review is French Creek, Wilbur Wall. I'll kind of touch base as we go down further. That got pushed. We had a supplemental use permit. Again, I'll kind of go through that as we get in some of the meetings. So with that, planning board meetings, for supplemental use for Senecal. This is the apartment complex coming off the back of his house, previously approved in '23. He was going from a 2-story 4-unit to a 1-story 4-unit. It got approved with conditions. Biggest one was parking. They've got with 4 new units, 3 existing units. They've got to have 14 parking spaces. They had 11 on their site plan drawing. So we asked them to go and redraw that up. They said they had enough room to put those additional parking spots in. I had yet to see it. So the other one was some drainage details. They were going to put in some a mulch wall buffer to divert or to stop drainage from going off property on the neighbor's property. The way it was reviewed and approved was that they will redo the drawings, they will resubmit the drawings to me. I will review them against the conditional approvals. I will issue a letter to the planning board with a copy of what got submitted, saying I think that they've met the intent, or I don't think they've met the intent. Wilbur Wall property, French Creek. We went to the planning board with his change in construction approach for his approved cottage colony. 11th hour, it was brought to our attention that it's not a cottage colony anymore per se if you're bringing in already prefabricated homes. That becomes a manufactured home issue. We call the manufacturer, and these are RVs. They're not, so even if I went to the board with a manufacturing variance, I would have been wrong. If I went to cottage colony, I was wrong. Now we have an RV park issue. Hines identifies that he has a all-encompassing superseding permit from the State Department of New York, Department of Health, that allows him to have an RV park, which is linked to his existing usage. He wants to incorporate the new property into that permit, and we're like, well, find the permit, let us review it, we'll go from there. Another venue that he may look at, or avenue, excuse me, is that he may request a complete change of definition of what a marina district is to include RV parks or RV campers. So that is up in the air. That's not, it hasn't been applied for. It's just an avenue he's discussed. First thing first is to get hold of this permit, see what it actually says, and what he's allowed to do, and what he is not allowed to do.
Tell them about what type of home. I know you said RV, but
Yeah,
they're more like park models?
Yeah, these are park homes. The only reason that they are called an RV is because they come in on a trailer, sit down on the concrete apron, tires are removed, things skirted, they're hard piped in for sewer and water, they're hard piped in for electrical, they're basically pre-manufactured houses. Swan Bay's got a whole bunch of them. They're very
Down in
attractive.
Florida, they're everywhere.
Yeah, they're very attractive. It's a nice alternative to a trailer or a transient RV, which is what we are not promoting. And he's not even asking for it.
Yeah, okay.
These are summer homes that are going to be there permanently, once they're in. 20 years from now, if they want to upgrade, they can come in, they can pull it out and put another one in. That's the only thing. But the title to it is not a deed, it's a DMV
Oh, no
title.
kidding. Huh, interesting.
So that opens up all kinds of different things that we're working with him on.
town has a code that states that any manufactured home that comes is made on steel is considered a mobile home or a trailer, which would,
There are so many gray areas into what the code says and what the code doesn't say. So I'm waiting on additional information. Okay?
Now, the Department of Health permit would not be all encompassing, because that's not how the Department of Health works. It would just be regarding to the Department of Health.
I'm not quite sure. I may
Yeah.
have the wrong department.
Yeah,
But that's
okay.
what I thought he said.
Yeah, well, he might have.
I think
they
it
might
is,
have-
yeah.
Yeah, they might have said,
But it
You
may
know,
not carry over to
you
a
cover
vacant
enough
spot.
for water and sewer to do this, but that doesn't mean it can be done on our end necessarily. You know, anyways, yeah.
Yep, yet to be determined.
Right, exactly. Okay.
But that's an interesting one. Okay, zoning board of appeals, we did a application for review of the Greg Peppery property. That got tabled for resubmission. That was dividing a conforming lot into two non-conforming lots, which morphed into dividing into one non-conforming lot and one conforming lot, transitioning into, I may just incorporate the smaller part of the lot into the existing property he owns across the street. So who knows where that's going. So that got tabled, and I have not met back with him yet. I think he's coming in this week. No joint zoning board, planning board, mayor meeting last month. Let's see, inquiries on another subdivision request. This is the one at Bartlett Point. He wants to take a 27,500 square foot parcel, divide it into two. He needs 30,000, he doesn't quite have that. I got some questions about frontage. He's got a 68.5 foot frontage, but he's already got an existing property, so how that got reviewed and approved prior, unbeknownst to me. His property that he would then be potentially subdividing would meet the setbacks and the frontages, but he he doesn't appear to have enough square footage. I have asked him to redo his drawings, give me some additional information about where actually he's potentially proposing to put this new house, showing the setbacks from the other existing house, as well as side, front, rear, the usual. So I have not got back. I believe we're supposed to meet this month on that one. So that'll be in next month's report as well.
Now, when you do a subdivision like that, do you require a survey just to make sure that it's actually what it?
Yes, typically what they do is they do provide me a survey.
Yeah, good.
Okay, it gives me the square footage, it gives me the placement.
Where the placement is.
And all that. And where there's questions, they can actually go back and get some updates to the existing surveys, so it makes it a lot easier for changes.
Yeah.
So, and for something like that, I need it more than just a drawing on a piece of paper.
Right, yeah.
Let's see, notifications. I did receive a copy of a joint DEC Army Corps of Engineers application for the removal and replacement of a boathouse with a boat port at River Shore Drive. That's a courtesy notification to us. It's still going through that process. If and when it comes out of that process, we have a series of both town and village permits required for that removal and replacement, which would mean zoning, demolition, and rebuilding. Meetings, we have ongoing meetings with the Arts Center construction, which is, we have one every Friday for a next week look ahead. We are having more and more issues with them we're getting more and more complaints from their quote-unquote housekeeping, maintaining the site. They had a catastrophic, in my mind, they had a fence failure into the excavation. All right, they created an imminent hazard. They were very slow in responding. They didn't see the necessity of it, except that they had this huge open excavation trench that somebody could walk into that's probably 8 feet deep. So we went to some meetings, we talked to them, we issued them a letter. Actually, we decided to get away from direct contact communication with the subcontractor, Black Horse, went right to the Art Center, said this is your project, your permit, your property, get it fixed. And amazingly enough, they did, next day. So, but then they had another issue with fence, the temporary fence they fixed fell in again. So now they have a permanent, quote unquote, semi-permanent fence up now, and I went and inspected it. Actually, what they ended up doing, they should have done in the first place, is they drove the posts into the ground substantially to maintain the post. It was sitting on top of the driveway before, it had no stability, blew over. And you know what the winds have been like lately. So hopefully this is the end of that one. I think they have about 3 more weeks of construction of that wall before they can start backfilling. So we're going to kind of hold our breath, cross our fingers for the next couple, 3 weeks. It's a day-to-day hand-holding exercise, to put it politely. They're facing a lot of things, including us. So I'm sure they don't like when I call. But we did talk to legal. We did talk to the state about what are our options as the village in a situation like that, just so that we know what we can do and what we can't do. So, and hopefully we don't get there. It's not the direction we want to go. We want to be a partner in all of these projects, but we also want them to be responsive to us. If you look at the museum, they're doing a great job. We have no complaints, no nothing, anything, and they're clipping along right now at a pretty good pace. Everybody's seen the shell come up. Let's see. I did talk about the meeting. I did talk about the letter. Eagle Shop's doing pretty well too. I go and check on them. Last item that we're still kind of involved in is the LWRP, and the RFP for the rewrite has been sent out. So we're waiting on bids to come back in for evaluation. So that is me.
Appreciate the thorough job.
Yeah, thank you for the thoroughness.
Yeah.
Dave, how long is the Eagle Shop construction going to be, approximately?
I'm not quite sure, but we got to get them on the radar for discussing about summertime
Because I noticed,
interferences,
which is
and-
fine, but they keep their trailer parked out there.
Yeah, we'll get them.
And
They
the
can,
truck.
they can move that into the back lot there. We have had preemptive discussions with the Art Center about what happens in the next month or two as the season comes into full swing, that they've got to move their equipment, they've got to move their trucks, they got to where they're parking, things like that, because we need to have all open parking areas that we can, as well as walk areas. We'll do the same thing with Eagle and with the museum.
Have you heard anything back from the pizza shop at the end of Riverside Drive, right next to Frank Park? The cleanup that we requested for the Riverwalk?
Only that he was going to do it before the start of the season. I believe that was May-ish. he did respond to our letter.
And there is supposed to be for lack of better word, a contraption put up in the alleyway to catch the grease. It's going to be different than what is currently there. I was told that was being put up today, but that did not happen. So we'll keep an eye on.
Yeah, today was a windy day.
Yeah,
Is there a way we could ask that the grease bucket leave the alley?
well, yes, that will leave, needs to leave today, but yes, that will leave.
Where the new contraption
with
goes
the
up,
new
they can run
contraption.
pipe along their building and
Yes.
out the back? and
Yes,
let the
it's
grease go
supposed to
there?
go down, but that's what I was told, but not down into a bucket or down onto our river walk.
Yep.
Yes, we'll keep an eye on, yes.
And when does
for
the
sure.
VFW remove Legion.
April 1.
They moved it, okay, hold on.
Yeah, they're allowed from
Yep.
November to April for their trash cans, and they've been very good this year about it, I would say. I haven't seen a mess.
I'd like to bring up the one that you've denied, and we were discussing this earlier about a sign on the Opera House.
Okay.
And so right now it's going for site plan review, or no?
No,
variance.
it's gonna go for a variance.
Variance, yes. You denied it on the fact that it's not permitted?
Correct.
Then, my point here was, when I said it earlier, is that I think that if it's written in the code that it's not permitted, that the zoning board of appeals cannot change that. If it's not permitted, it's not permitted. If you're not sure, I would like you to look into that, because that could come up in a lot of different times, and we're looking for being able to do things in the code that actually cannot be changed. And I think that does state that the ZBA cannot add a permit. So if it's not permitted, they can't add it. And that's my understanding. But if you could look into that, this may be something that would be in that ballpark. That's not permitted, not being able to be varianced.
And we're also thinking of writing a sort of a joint letter to help you, saying that it's not permitted in the village board.
And I was telling them about the letter you have created. It just needs to be re-looked at, sent to the board.
Right.
Yes. So maybe we'll do two. Yes, I'll get that to Mr.
Thank you.
All right.
Good job, Dave.
Thank you.
Yeah, really good job.
We're so unaccustomed to this.
Yes, we are. I know, I think when I text him or call him and my name comes up, he's like, oh, geez, what is this now? Very good. Very helpful to me. Thank you. All righty, any questions on the police report?
No?
All right. Good. Whew. Any questions on the consent agenda?
No.
Could I have a motion to accept that
I'll make the motion.
in a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And capital projects?
I'll make the motion.
Any opposed? Or second,
I'll
please.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Not this month, it's only $500.
That is correct, yeah. I keep saying it's the least we're gonna see. That probably will be the least we see, yes. All righty, Joanne?
Okay, so before I forget, we forgot to have board approval for Eric Dingman and Marshall
Oh,
Green
yes.
to go to SUNY Potsdam Water Conference.
I'll make the motion.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Joanne.
Also, okay, so this is basically correspondence for the minutes. That the clerk presents the tentative budget 2025-26 to the board. And I didn't print them all out, 5 copies. I knew you guys all had them, so. Then
Do we need to make a
No.
motion?
No.
Okay.
So then I present local law number 1, which is the tax cap levy. We will be setting up public hearings tonight also. But that's the same as every year. We never use it, but we do this just in case something happened, and then we rescind it. We decided to, as long as everything's okay, and be rescinded after taxes are done. Resignation, we will need, well, no, we don't need a motion for this. Ashley Owens, effective April 1st, from the Zoning Board of Appeals. We do need to approve Nick Reddick for the Joint Town Village Zoning Board of Appeals.
I'll make the motion.
And I'll
Is there a
second.
second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And then approve Adam Powers as Vice Chairman for Planning.
I'll make the motion.
And I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's a great ad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you will have to set a public hearing for the tentative budget and for the local law.
So we don't approve the local law tonight, we do it at the public hearing? All right,
Correct, yeah.
all right. So we're gonna do that on April 14th at our regular
At our
meeting.
regular meeting.
Yes.
And I put the 2 ads in there for, they will go into the paper. I'll send the email tomorrow.
Could we have a motion for that, please? The public hearing?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
The public hearing, setting a public hearing for the local law, number 1.
I'll make the motion for the
Need a
law.
Oh, okay.
Motion, yeah.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great, thank you.
Okay, I'm done.
Amanda's here. She can do her little live here. Hello, Amanda. Thank you for joining us tonight.
So you have the tentative budget. I guess now we need to decide if we'd like to do another budget workshop. We can do a budget workshop between now and the public hearing. We just can't officially make changes until after the public hearing. But we can get together and discuss changes. That's entirely up to the board if they want to do another budget workshop. We thought if we did another one, we'd try to do it at like 4 in the afternoon, so Rob was able to come. I mean, I'm open to any time, but that's
Okay.
entirely your decision.
I'm available anytime, let me know when.
So would we like to have another workshop for the budget?
I'm trying to think, I mean, we didn't really have any contentious issues.
No, I saw that the savings went into the balance, right? That's where it came out.
Right.
So there was no difference in the
Right.
tax rate. It stayed the same. The only difference was is that we saved about 400,000 and that got reduced from fund. Right? I'm good with it.
What about you,
Doesn't
Rob?
sound like we need it.
Okay.
And now
We can
if you want
also-
to get together and look at it.
Yeah.
I don't mind getting together with you and look at the.
And if in a week and a half, 2
Changes
weeks,
compared to what it was.
we need to have one, we can have one. It's,
Yeah.
it doesn't say saying no tonight means no forever.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
And we could even, could we, I mean, like if there was, not that there's going to be, but if there's a big public hearing uproar,
Yes.
we could even have one after that.
Oh,
right? And then
absolutely.
approve it.
Yes. Yes, yes.
Right.
And then again, as you look it over, any questions,
Right,
contact Amanda.
yeah.
Okay, very good. All right. So we need a motion to accept February's financial report,
I'll make the motion.
and a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then Amanda, you want to explain this, please?
Yep, I am looking for approval to attend the Society of Human Resources Management training. They have a 3-day online program that I'd like to do in May. It does cost about $1,800, but things are changing daily in the human resources world. And just to be a member of, they call it Sherman's, but just to be a member of that group is extremely beneficial. They send updates often.
Yeah, it is, yeah. I'll make
Based
the
on
motion.
their labor law posters.
I'll second it. No, yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you very much.
Thank
You
you.
made- you
Thank
made
you,
the
thank you.
sale.
Thank you, thank you.
Super.
When you said
Thank
Sharon.
you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Bless you.
Let's see, as described, we've had some ups and downs with the construction. Dave has handled a good portion of it, very helpful to have. As he said, the new fence is in today. I think that will make a great difference. The Irish Festival went very well. And also, we didn't have a lot of, we had a lot of police here, but we didn't have a lot of police activity. So that was very good. The parade went well. It all just went very well. So we'd like to, hopefully they'll come back, is the plan, yes.
I can speak to that
Yes.
a little bit. They were very appreciative of all the help that they received from the village and from the town, and they just felt super welcomed. Whenever they asked, they were met with, yes, hey, we can help you do that, and they're not accustomed to that, and they loved it, and they want to come back next year.
Oh, great.
And I've got a few ideas for the parade, but also if other members have some ideas, let me know. They do the legwork, but we can give them the ideas if you've ever, or
I
thought.
think it'll get bigger and bigger.
Yes.
too,
Yeah.
if
Yes.
it's year
Because this is kind of
by
last
year.
minute for
Yeah,
parades
Yes, it
and
was.
stuff like that, yeah.
They said they'd be in touch with you also,
Yes.
looking for feedback.
Yeah. Yeah, they were
Very
very
nice.
nice to deal with, yes. I
Nice.
felt it went very well.
Yeah, it was really smooth.
I was very pleased with it. Let's see, a week ago, I believe it was Tuesday, there was reported gunfire in the community.
Oh, wow.
And I was sound asleep and I heard, I was like, oh my gosh, somebody's at my house. It's 11:30. There was nothing going on in my house. I left some lights on. I went back to sleep. So the next day I talked with the police department. Number of people heard it. It was individuals, a group of individuals who were hunting coyotes that night. I believe they were on one of the town roads. And it's all legal. Everything they did was legal. Kevin said there was a lot of police in the village because they could not figure out where the shots were coming from.
Right.
And he said, oh, you were very safe that night, because they were all over the place. But if anyone asked you, it was one of the town roads.
Huh.
And they were hunting coyotes.
There's a lot of coyotes out there.
Yeah. Well, they had their dogs. It's a guy thing.
Wow.
Maybe a woman thing.
It's,
Yes. As I did mention, April 14th, we will have another workshop, and that will be with our auditor, and he would like to explain the audit. That will be at 4 o'clock, and then we will have our meeting thereafter.
This is the one they just did, or the one they're going to do?
The one they just did.
Okay.
And it was there were 2 years.
They did 2 years, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Trustee Duford?
Yes, I'd like to submit a resolution for pro-housing tonight. And this is to achieve our certification. And we're going to be using probably option 2. And that requires us to pass a resolution stating a commitment to pro-housing principles. I think everybody has probably read it through. And so I'd like to.
We just need someone to offer it, like a motion type thing, and then I'll do a vote at the,
so he's offering it, right? Like you're offering it.
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
And then who wants to second?
I will.
Okay, and then we'll do a roll call vote. Nancy,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McDowell,
Yes.
Trustee Ritta,
Yes.
Trustee Duford,
Yes.
and Trustee Kinney.
Yes.
And this is great. The Essential Housing Committee will be very happy to hear that we've done that. They'd be happy to hear that we're submitting this week also for the Climate Smart. And, we're moving along very nicely, and we're moving along in our Essential Housing Committee very nicely, yes. And there is money out there for infrastructure in different situations, so we're moving forward. Trustee Kinney?
Yeah, I'd like to talk about it a little bit before the work session, but just want to get an official, the Climate Smart Task Force created this plan for the village. Again, it's just a plan. Its goal is to reduce our carbon footprint by 40% by 2030, and then there's a whole bunch of different things we want to do, suggested that. And I would just, so I'd like to introduce that, if anyone has any further questions, but I think we kind of went over it already, so.
So you just need approval from the board,
Yeah,
board approval?
yes,
You're all in approval of this, so I'll put at the end, board approved on this date.
Yes.
great, thank you. And just a little plug, our next education outreach is May 3rd, which will be at Wood Park or here if it's a rainy day.
Are you having, oh, I'm sorry,
And that's 10 to 12.
yes.
And we're going to do Jefferson County Soil and Water are going to have a table. Well, a whole bunch of people have, there are a whole bunch of vendors. I don't want to single them out, but Cornell Pop Extension is going to be here. Cornell University is going to be here. Guymo is going to be here. I think Fourth Coast is going to be here, and et cetera, et cetera. So there's going to be, if you were here for the last one, a lot of the same people from the last one, but more. And we're also going to be giving away seedlings to the kids, so the kids will have two choices, either a sugar maple seedling or a aspen seedling, and they're both native to the area. I didn't know aspens were, but apparently they are, according to Jefferson County Soil and Water. And then we're going to have different kid activities. Tilt's going to be here, Save the River's going to be here. And then there's also going to be the library. Hahn Library is going to have a book recycling drop-off table where if you have old books you want to get rid of, you can just put them there, and then they'll bring them to, they have a shredder coming the next week, and it's sad. Yeah, so it's going to be a fun event, so spread the word.
Sounds great.
Thanks.
Any other? I'm sorry.
Just to make sure, let's do a motion on the climate smart
Yes.
action plan.
I'll make the motion.
So Kenny, you
Yeah,
and
made a
McDowell
motion.
will.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank
Good,
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Any other business? Anyone else?
The library had a meeting last week on Wednesday, and they're talking about having Terry's crew help them rebuild the ramp on the front. They want to go with a Trex or Trex type product to replace the pressure treated that is constantly in need of maintenance and painting. And they want cable railings going up the ramp, and there's also a discussion about the bathroom, and I'm going to talk to Terry about that. I just want to make sure that if they do anything with the bathroom, it's what we would like, because
Yes.
it's still our
It's
building.
still a building.
And it also has informed your lessons with all the ADA information. There was a few examples that I didn't like that talked about moving the bathroom, expanding the bathroom in ways that I didn't think
Good.
remained true to the building.
Yes, good, thank you, thank you. And I have had, I think I've said this before, I had some conversations with Terry, because there are situations at the library building that need to be taken care of. There's ice jams and things of that nature. If we go for the New York Forward grant to help with this building, we would also like to include the library into that, which
Makes sense.
might not be the bathroom, but maybe it will, yes. But we won't go for that until latter part of this year or in '26. Any other comments? Great. Well, thank you for your time.
A motion,
Make a motion?
to adjourn.